welcome back to Bite-Sized Moments with AJ. Today I am talking about keywords, specifically some quick tips to help you get started on picking out keywords for your site. Whether you are brand new to SEO or just looking to improve your SEO, sometimes keywords is where a lot of people who are newer to doing it get really hung up. So these are some tips to help you get started and give you a good place to build a foundation for moving forward. So whenever I give marketing tips, almost inevitably, the first thing I come back to is customer avatars. Your customer avatar or your customer persona is a creation that you make that outlines the type of person your ideal client is, who you're specifically trying to sell to. And by having that person in mind, we actually create whole little people with names and pictures and likes and dislikes. The more you know about that persona, the easier it is to use them for your marketing. And when it comes to keywords, they're very handy. You can put yourself in their shoes and kind of think about what they would be searching, what problems they would be typing into Google in order to find your product. With any of the tips under, the put yourself in the person's shoes category, you do want to keep in mind that the person who you're trying to reach might not necessarily know your company. They might not necessarily know the name of your product. They might not necessarily know the name of the service or solution you're offering. So you want to start from where the problem that your service or product solves is. Along the same lines, if you have a good relationship with a customer, you can reach out and ask them what things they were searching before they found your company or product, and actually use that to start basing keywords off of. Ask them, what did you search for? That can be a really powerful way to get started there. Likewise, you can ask friends and family who aren't as connected to your business as you are what they would be looking for. The problem is that we as marketers, or if you're a small business owner, or if you're working on a small team, we're very familiar with what we do. We know all of the jargon, and a lot of times we get in our heads about that. But you do need to take that step back and actually think about what problem they're trying to solve, and start there. Next, look at your competition. This is a really great way if you are stuck to kind of get some ideas. Just go to their page, look and see what is included in the headers of their page, since that's an important place to put SEO content. You can look into the source code and see what their meta title and description are, as well as look at their alt text or title text from there and see what keywords they're utilizing. Also, just in general, looking over their copy on the pages for the products or services that you also offer, and see how they're phrasing things and what words they're using, what questions they're answering, and kind of tie that back to that first step of what the customer avatar is looking for. Along the same lines, going over their blog titles and seeing what type of content they're putting out can help you frame the search intent of what customers are looking for. So if they're putting out a lot of recipes because you sell toaster ovens, that can be a good indication of what you should do likewise, especially if you perceive them as being a successful competitor. If you see them as being a not successful competitor, then don't do that. Look at the ones that you perceive as having a lot of movement in the space and a large market share, or at least larger than your market share. The next thing on the list is look at your analytics. So I went over this a few videos ago, but there is Search Console, which you can then hook up to Google Analytics, and there's a query report in there. From that query report, you can mine for new keywords that you might not have necessarily been targeting, but are good opportunities. I will link to that video in the description so you can go back and get more insight on that. But there are a lot of hidden gems in there of things where Google realized a synonym for something that you were looking for, answered a problem for a customer, and you were inadvertently getting some of that traffic. And then you can really lean into it since you already have a basis for moving forward and kind of build upon that unintentional success. It also just shows you, what you are getting impressions for, and that can be really handy for knowing if you're targeting the wrong keywords too, especially if you have a kind of generic term that has more than one meaning in your company title or one of your services. You can see if you're accidentally targeting unintentionally non-qualified traffic, and rework those pages and those keywords as well. And then the kind of an interesting one is try the search yourself. Whether you're using Google Trends or you go to just Google itself and start typing in things that your product or service does and seeing what autocomplete comes up, typing in some of the questions that you got from the target audience or from the customers or family and friends that you asked what they were searching, so you get a more complete picture. And really digging in there, seeing what autocomplete offers, seeing what suggestions happen. If there's not a lot of search results for a specific term, sometimes it will suggest alternatives. So those can be ways to kind of get some unexpected gems in there too. If you do have access to a keyword tool, you can also use those to gain insight into synonyms and other keywords that are related and do some other digging. I go over a few of those tools in our SEO course about how to use them and how to do keyword research more in depth. Just a quick overview. So if you're interested in learning more about using those tools to kind of mine that information, you can go there. And then some other tips are think of synonyms or similar products and repeat any of the above. Google has become really good at recognizing a synonym or related language and tying it back with search intent. And then my last tip is to not be afraid of long tail keywords. A lot of people get really hung up on, we'll go back to the toaster oven thing. If you're selling toaster ovens, you want to rank for toaster ovens, I get that, but there's a lot of competition for that keyword. However, if you have a solar paneled toaster oven, well, you're more likely to rank for solar powered toaster oven than just toaster oven. I don't think solar powered toaster ovens actually exist, but it seemed like a good example. So don't be afraid of those longer keywords. Don't be afraid of digging into, ranking for actual questions even, because enough of the long tail specific keywords, you're going to start ranking better for the short tail or the very specific term too. But also those longer tail keywords prevents what I was talking about with the unintentional keyword targeting. So if you're targeting the longer tailed keywords, you're more likely to get qualified traffic. You're more likely to actually be reaching the people you want to reach and not some of the fringe things that might come in with those related or I guess similar words but unrelated products or services. So really dig into those 4, 5, and 6 word long phrases when it comes to picking your keywords. And you can do a few longer tailed keywords that have a similar theme on one set of content and still rank pretty well. And yeah, that's really it. Those are my quick SEO keyword tips. If you want to learn more about SEO, we do have our SEO for beginners course up on the Academy. I'd love feedback on it, so go sign up and take it. Tell me what you think. Yeah, I hope you all have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.